Sordo. Not going to start everything quite yet. Just wanted to make sure that we were live, up, and running, and it looks like we are. So stick with us here, and we'll get started with the pregame coverage in about 4 minutes here on the Beacon Broadcasting Network, brought to you by LittleEast.tv. It's the Beacons and the Vikings in a rainy Cotter Field coming up momentarily. And welcome back. National anthem completed. We are about ready for the opening face-off here. The second game of LEC conference action for both of these teams. The Salem State Vikings coming into today at 1-7, and they are paced by their leading goal scorer, Lake Fleming. One of two 13-goal scorers on the team for the Vikings this season. He has 15 points in total, 2 apples to go along with those 13 goals. Lake, a senior out of Gloucester, Mass. For the Beacons, the player to watch had the hottest game in recent memory, Charlie Chapman. He's a junior from the Cape, Sandwich, Massachusetts, to be specific. 5 goals on the season. 5 goals on the season for Chapman. 5 goals last game. 19 on the season now. He's one away from that illustrious 20-goal mark, and he was a 26-goal scorer last season. The Beacons still being paced offensively by Gavin Admirand. Now 32 goals. 32 goals coming into action against NEC, 4 more, so he's now up to 36. Connor Smith, second on the team with 26 goals this season. You have Chapman with 19, and the freshman up-and-comer, the pleasant story as this season continues to progress, Nolan Beauregard with 14 goals to his name as well. We'll keep the audio live with you here as we'll try and get that video back up for you momentarily. Guys, can you reset the camera? We lost it up. Yeah. All right, so we're underway with audio only. That camera will come up when it does. Lucozzi, as he has been doing all season for the Beacons, he wins the faceoff easily. That's a 67% clip that he has on the year for the Beaks. And Luke Murphy, the All-American, winding it around the perimeter. Gavin Admirand, 36 goals, 27 assists to go along with that. Back towards Zach Mann. And let's see, I think the goal was not in the right spot. So there we go. You have delays every now and then in the middle of action here. That we'll live with that. And we'll wind it back in with Admirand from the X. It's Zach Mann back over to Luke Murphy. He has Jacob Banks to his right. Banks cycling it around the perimeter. Admirand behind the net, fakes the shot, goes over. In close quarters to Connor Smith, will wind it back up to Murphy. Now Mann, he had 6 goals last season against Salem State. Over to Admirand, quick pass, Smith, low shot. And I believe Gilligan got a stick onto that on the low shot. It goes wide, it'll stay with the Beaks. 24 is 1. That shot saved, so we'll go back the other way now. Salem State 1 for 1 on defensive stops as this game is underway. All right, we're still live, guys. We haven't missed anything here. Still nothing. Thanks for dealing with us. This weather, wreaking havoc with the broadcast system, but we're back. The Beacons 2 offensive zone turnovers, but they're back in the offensive zone now. And here's Nolan Beauregard. Long pass from Admirand, and he pings hard and high off the top crossbar. Diving effort from across the way here from Vikings number 4, Tyler Norton, and that's going to put position into the offensive zone for the Vikings. So the first 3 minutes, we've seen a lot of action up and down the field. No attempts on goal yet. There's a little dump in and a big save by Otto Kierlees, who's making his first start of the season for the Beaks. Trevor Coppy, the reigning LEC Conference goaltender of the week, starting on the bench. The Beacons employing 4 different goaltenders this season. Kierlees earning his spot as number 2 on the depth chart, and we'll see how long he's in for today. Bang, skies up, goes right back to the X with Admiran behind the net. Over to Smith. Quick shot, Smith. Another big save from Gilligan, as twice he stoned Connor Smith from that left doorstep with the stick save. Looks like Matt Laverty and Sean Culloh waiting to sub in for the Beacons here, and Beauregard comes off, so a little defense for offense here as Sean Culloh makes his way onto the field for the Beaks. 3:40 into this contest, and now gliding in, low shot, misses wide to the right from number 21, Aiden Hollingsworth. One of 2 Vikings with 13 goals on the season. Okay, Beacons with numbers now. Smith, quick shot to Culloh, bounce shot, and it scores, and it's Sean Culloh, the first goal of the contest for the Beaks, his second of the season. And if you had Connor Smith to Sean Culloh, congratulations. Didn't expect 1-0 to get it started. And it was a slow first 4 minutes, but the bounce shot low to high off the turf from Culloh, his second of the season, and the Beacons lead 1-0. It was a slow start for the Beacons. They did let 2 goal opportunities commence for the Vikings. Kierlees standing tall in net for both of them and finally sticking with it. And you get the long stick midi, Sean Culloh, who came on for Nolan Beauregard, decided to hop into the fray. He was open. He gets the pass from Smith and deposits it. Beacons now 3 of 3 in center field faceoffs to start this contest. Bangs had a shot, goes to Admiran behind the net. Up top to Murphy, unmarked, fakes the long shot, slips it down low. Bangs low. Oh, and the save is made. It creeps by the left goal post. Another save for Gilligan. That's his 4th in 5 opportunities. Banks quickly in to a charging Murphy, and that one was just plucked out of the air and intercepted by Aiden Hollingsworth, but he gets dispossessed on the play, and there it is. It will be a foul called against Mick Flynn, just a little too aggressive riding on in to dispossess. And I'm not sure if this will lead to a man-down opportunity. He gets to stay on, but possession will be. So correction, it's not going to go against 22 Flynn. It'll go against Connor Smith, who's wearing 24 today. It's a hold, and it'll be a 30-second man-up opportunity for Salem State. So the first chance on a differential will belong to the Vikings with a man-up. Salem State, this is a team 1-7 on the season. They average just under 9 goals per contest. So a big opportunity here with a man-up to tie this game back up. Kevin Parator out in uncomfortable territory there. He gets dispossessed. Pat Carey scoops it up, and look at this. Beacons with momentum with a man down. Carey has Ranta to his right. Jack Ranta slips a pass down low to Banks. Banks to Admiran. And is that in? No, it's not in, but it gets back out to Flynn. Flynn fakes it. Flynn dodges in. Low shot, and he scores. And it's Mick Flynn with a man down, sticking with it after the Admiran and Banks hustle. It looked like Banks almost slipped the pass into Admiran to shovel it home. Flynn was behind the play. The ball comes out to him, and he scores his 10th goal of the season. Mick Flynn letting those numbers grow a little bit here. He's in double figures, is the senior out of Bellingham, Mass, and the Beacons are up 2-0 in the early going here at Cotter Field. Mick Flynn, number 22 on your roster. They call him twos here on the sideline. That is scored with a man down for Mick Flynn. Smith, he's still in the penalty box for 3 more seconds. It's a no, well, no, not quite. Lucosi to it. Lucosi shovels it backwards, and that's going to be another easy win for the Beaks in the center circle. 4 of 4 as Lucosi forces the violation against Josh Connolly. And so Murphy on to pick it up. Smith is released from his penalty. Chapman onside too, so it's the heavy hitters, all 6 in the offensive zone for the Beaks right now. Admiran from the X has Flynn on the left doorstep. Takes a step in, over to Smith, and around the perimeter we go. Chapman, had a cutting Flynn. That was a beautiful pass. Flynn couldn't cradle it. It's out of bounds back to the Vikings. So that is the 3rd unforced turnover from the Beacons in the first 5 minutes today. This is Hollingsworth. He is responsible for a lot for the Vikings, now trying to clear the zone. Pardon me, that's Miles Desparis, and he's dispossessed by Justin McCullough. McCullough rumbling in, fakes the shot, and a great play on the back end there by Mike Zorro. He started every game at defense for the Vikings there, dispossesses McCullough, and now a lax pass going to go back the other way for Hunter Thomas. Thomas, a true freshman, he has 1 goal on the season. Over to Tyler Norden, the junior from Burlington, Mass. Long flowing hair from Norden. That pass tipped by Holden Kuznaier. He's a true freshman really coming along in his own right there, getting a lot more minutes as the season progresses for the Beaks. Dakota Girard, he has a team-high 5 assists, the main distributor for the Vikings, but he's out of his element now. Big 6'5" Colin Colby with the stick check and the dispossession, and the box is loving it. Colby gets it to Smith. Here is Pat Carey rumbling through unmarked. Wow, he still kept the ball with him in spite of the stick check, getting hacked at on the play by Mike Zorro. Great defense, but it sticks with Carey. So the Beacons reset, 64 on the shot clock. Gavin Admirand, nothing yet out of him in the score sheet. But there he is on the left doorstep. Has Banks cutting behind the net. Here's Smith. Not going with the long shot. Instead, will go around. Murphy to Banks. Quick stick save. Trevor Gilligan up to the task as he's had 4 or 5 shots right in his face on the doorstep. And another stick save, keeping the Beaks at bay. Sean Cullen, Mick Flynn, and Flynn with a man down, the 2 goal scorers in the opening minutes. Admirand, oh, and he picks the corner beautifully. Are you kidding me? Gavin Admirand, his first of the day, and they just get that much more impressive. You couldn't pick the upper right corner any better than that, and it's the 37th goal of the season, but who's counting? In style for Gavin Admirand, Beaks up 3-0. Sean Cullen, Mick Flynn, Gavin Admirand, the 3 goal scorers here. Gavin, with the exception of 1 week, there has been 4 weekly conference awards given out by the LEC up to this point so far. 3 of the 4 times, Gavin has won the Conference Player of the Week. You can see why right there. Beautifully picked upper right-hand corner. And a face-off win for Salem State. They're first in 6 tries. Sean Cullen getting tested by Hollingsworth. Look at that strong dodge from Hollingsworth. He gets a nice shot in, misses wide to the left, and Patrick Carey with the hustle will bring it back to the Beaks. So Hollingsworth, that was his second attempt. He has shown the ability to dodge into the net. Banks out to Smith. Smith had some trouble with it. It was a low pass. It's tipped. It was in front of Sullivan. He couldn't pick it up. Smith charging between the legs, and it's picked up by Sullivan. And now the Beacons with some momentum. Sullivan back across to Ford. Around we go to Banks. To Admirand. Oh, and he missed it. Wow, it was a wide open opportunity. Beautiful team passing. I'm sure Banks thought he would have gotten an assist on that play, but Admirand keeps it in for Banks. And now Banks up top to Ford. Fakes the pass to Sullivan, now gives it to Timothy. Here's the sophomore Sullivan, the Curry College transfer. Beautiful dodge, still has it alive, but a save made from Gilligan. His 6th save already in less than 8 minutes of lacrosse so far. He's been up to the task with the Beacons leading just 3-0 here. Hunter Thomas, talented freshman out of Schwenksville, Pennsylvania, my neck of the woods. He played at Perk Valley for his high school lacrosse. Very good program in Montgomery County. Kuznire up to the task as he pushes Tyler Norden off his block. Norden, great job to keep possession, though. His cradle's alive. He charges, goes for the curl play. Colby scoops it up, and now Colin Colby rumbling ahead to Colin Ford. Colin Ford, one of the best players at getting it through midfield to Banks. Back to Ford, rips it, and hits it. Colin Ford earned that goal. He got it picked up from Colin Colby, took it all the way through the midfield, gets the quick pass back from Banks. 42, Colin Ford from Jacob Banks, and it's the 4th goal of the contest, 8.5 minutes in. 6:30 left on the clock, and the Beacons lead 4-0. Ford to Banks, back to Ford. That was beautiful, and Colin Colby, the freshman, started that with the dispossession and the quick move up to Colin Ford. And you can't undervalue the speed that the Beacons possess in the midfield because there were bodies there for the Vikings. They just couldn't catch up to Ford, and that led to the angle, the pass right back. Cullen, Flynn, Admirand, Ford, your 4 goal scorers right now for the Beacons, but 2 straight face-off wins for the Salem State Vikings. Aiden Hollingsworth, he does everything for this team. He has 13 goals on the season. He's just won 2 face-offs in a row. A little turnover there gives it back to the Beacons. And now Colby all the way across to Kuznire. Those are 2 freshmen that are seeing extended playing time as the season progresses, and it's lovely to see. Here's Murphy. Quick look for Connor Smith. Smith is going to shoot and score. Top right corner. He had Admirand to his left, Murphy to his right. Don't matter. Pocket picked for Connor Smith. Another top right corner goal, and everyone's getting involved now. It's 5-0 Beaks. We have a timeout on the field. 5:56 left to go in the first quarter. Beacons 5, Vikings nothing. More after this on the Beacon Broadcasting Network, brought to you by LittleEast.tv. All right, we are back here. 5:56 left in the first quarter. It was a Connor Smith goal that just made it 5-0. 5 different goal scorers right now. Sean Cola, his 10th of the season to get us started, or 2nd of the season to get us started. Mick Flynn with a man down for his 10th. Gavin Admiran with 37. Colin Ford his 5th, and Connor Smith just scored his 27th of the season. That one out of bounds, so it will stay with the Beacons behind the net here. Jacob Banks, not yet involved in the scoring, but he's been in the mix. 2 assists for number 23. Banks, back to Admiran behind the net. Looks back to Banks in the slot. No, it's Cullen. He's going to let it rip. Low to high. He got it again. He bounced in his first goal. He bounces in number 2. And the long sticks getting involved today. It's 2 for Sean Cullen. He's got 3 on the year, and the Beacons lead 6-0. How about that? That's quick, efficient offense. And Sean Cullen, he knows how to put the ball into the net. Scored a couple in his sophomore campaign last season. He's got 3 now. And the Beacons leading 6-0. This is the offensive efficiency we've been seeing a lot this season. It's just a pleasure to get to see it in person again back here at Cotter Field. Mezawar over to Banks. To Admirant, to Smith. He's got an angle. He tries to find it, and he just misses high over the crossbar. Goodness, when Connor Smith loads up that low shot, you just kind of expect it to find twine. Misses high there, but back to Banks. Quickly back in. It's so nice to see this offense just right back to midseason form. The second Jacob Banks was back into this lineup after hockey season. He scored 4 goals and 3 assists against NEC earlier this week. Charging it is Mezawar, but another save from Gilligan. I thought that Smith was going to Banks. Instead, Connor Smith found Carson Mezawar. He got the pass in front, but another big save for Trevor Gilligan out of Marblehead, Massachusetts. He stonewalls Mezawar on a big goal-scoring attempt. Jack Ranta, though, a great stick check and a dispossession. Nolan Beauregard was about to head off. He's right back into the box, about to hop into the attack. Mezawar in the slot. Beautiful pass to Banks, to Admirand, and a save. Oh, that might have been a little too cute right there, as Banks could have gotten the shot off. He opted for the pass to Admirand, and another save, the 7th of the first quarter for Trevor Gilligan. That ball going to stay with the Beacons. Mezawar going to run it in. He has Beauregard to his right. Admiran to his left. Now Gavin. Thought about the quick shot. Passes it over to Smith. Tight angle, and he pinged off the left post. Great shot from Smith. It's out, but the Beacons with a fresh 60 on the shot clock here. 4 minutes, 12 seconds on a running clock left to go in the first quarter. 5 different goal scorers, and Sean Cullen is the one Beacon with 2 this afternoon. Admiran, he has a goal. Ball has just been in the Beacons' offensive zone almost the entirety of this first quarter, definitely the past 5 or 6 minutes. Beauregard doesn't like what he sees, so he'll swerve left and reset. Smith through a screen, back to Beauregard. He likes that long shot, instead has Zach Mann. Mann fakes the pass back to Beauregard, angles around, and here's Admiran from the X. Shot clock down to 25 here for the Beaks, but it frees up Smith. Fakes the shot, now goes low, and a big save made from Gilligan. Uses the help of the right post, corrals it in, and now the clear attempt, but it's off the stick of Tomorrow. Oh, huge hit in the middle of the field, dispossesses it again. That was Patrick Carey laying lumber. Ball's still loose, and it will get picked up by Jacob Banks. No, pardon me, it's going to be an offside call against the Beaks, as that looks like Kyle Tamaro gets hit in a very uncomfortable place. Now, anybody who watched the Beacons game on Wednesday saw that Carson Mezawar dealt with a similar situation on the wrong end of a Charlie Chapman shot. This is unfortunate for Tamaro because Kyle made the play for the Vikings right then and then took the hard hit. So, no pain, no gain, but the Vikings with a big play out of their junior defender from Saugus, Kyle Tamaro. He gets it back to the Vikes, and we'll wind it back into play. So offsides was the call. This will be a free walk into the offensive side of the field for the Vikings. So this is Kevin Parator joining the attack. Looked like he was going to charge in. Instead, he slides back to offer the pick for his midi mate, Dakota Gerard. Gerard, right-handed cradle. I mentioned he has 5 assists on the season. Big distributor for the Vikings. Joshua Connolly, dispossessed by Colin Colby. And this is a coming-out party for number 9 as he calmly dispossesses the ball from Gerard. And look at this. Kuznaier leading the attack the other way for the Beaks. Holden to Gavin Admirand. Fakes the shot. Man in the middle was Banks, and he slipped it in. Mezawar was in front, but the pass gets over to Banks. It's Admirand on the assist, and the first goal of the afternoon for Jacob Banks. Everybody came to score today, and the Beacons leading by a touchdown. Beacons 7, Vikings nothing. We have 2:43 left to go in the first quarter here. The last time these teams played last season, it was a road game up in Salem for the Beaks. They were victorious, scored 30 goals in that contest. They say it's always about improving the mark. I talked to a couple of Beacons, a couple of midfielders in specifically, and they said they weren't going to they'd be lying. Not going to lie to me. They'd be lying if they said that 31 wasn't maybe a goal for this contest. You got to take everything in stride right now, and the Beacons doing a great job just controlling the pace of play here. McNeely shoots, scores! Jason McNeely, his third goal of the season. It's funny, actually, was talking with our assistant SID, Mike Vesci, about this earlier. What a season that he's earning his role back in as one of the face-off specialists. He's scoring 3 goals now and an assist for McNeely, and that was so easy. He wins the face-off, he rolls right in, lets a shot rip. You have 2 of the best face-off specialists in the league, in the division, and they're playing for the Beacons, and you see a goal from it right there as McNeely gets into the mix. It's now 7 different Beacons scoring this afternoon. Sean Cullen has 2, his second and third of the season. Mick Flynn scored his 10th. Admirand his 37th. Connor Smith his 27th. Jacob Banks his 9th. And Jason McNeely just scored his 3rd of the season. Murphy looks over in the direction of Smith. Back to Luke Murphy. Quiet afternoon for Murphy up to this point. In terms of the score sheet, he's all over the field like normal. Flynn on the right wing to Admirand. 2-man game here as Banks had that pass on Admirand's stick before he might have even been ready for it. Banks to Flynn. What a low-angled shot from Flynn. The save made from Gilligan, but the rebound goes out to Gallagher to Admirand, and the Beaks will reset. Admirand over to Flynn. Thought about that long shot. 50 on the shot clock now. Had a cutting Banks. That pass just behind him. The steal made on the play by Miles Desparis. Oh, but he gave it away. Admirand was riding him on the play and was able to force a turnover. What can't Gavin Admirand do? And let's see if that leads into anything offensively for the Beaks. 90 seconds on a running clock here. Admirand asking the offense to get initiated. Has Banks behind the net. Goes out top to Smith. Smith directing traffic. That one's deflected in front. Nice read on the play. Defensively, that was number 88, Jonas Seeger, getting his stick on that. Now Seeger goes all the way across the net, back to Mike Zarro. Zarro picks it up. He's going to take on Gavin Admirand. Admirand can't stick check him. Look at Connor Smith sticking his nose in there. He gets the ball loose. Hit made from Gallagher, and Owen Gallagher picks it back up. Admirand scoops it out of trouble. Admirand still fighting, and now Murphy down low with it. Ultimately, Gallagher, who got that started, he's going to pick it back up. Owen Gallagher right in the middle of the field, resets for the personnel. Now Flynn has Banks to his right, gets the pass to it. It's picked up loose. Flynn doesn't see it. It's right down at his feet, and ultimately not picked up by Gilligan. Banks, no! Oh, that would have been beautiful over the shoulder, but the ball stays in the zone for the Beaks. 36 on a running clock. Smith. Over to Admirand. Low shot, and he scores just inside the right post. Gavin Admirand, his second goal of the contest. He's got 2 assists already today. Those score numbers keep on tallying as the Beacons increase that lead to 9-0. As Gavin Admirand scores his second and his 38th of the season. 7 different goal scorers right now. Some names you would expect to see that haven't hit the tally mark yet. But recapping, 9-0, 2 from Sean Cullen, 2 from Gavin Admirand, and then Jason McNeely, Jacob Banks, Connor Smith, Colin Ford, and Mick Flynn, all with goals. And the Beacons with the face-off win, they have 23 seconds left in the quarter to try and hit double digits. Admirand right from the X, staring at Gilligan. No look pass to Banks. Banks spins, Ford, long shot, big save. That was right into the frame of the stick from Gilligan, and that'll probably take us to the end of the quarter. Nice late effort here on the back check. Zarro's just going to launch it, and that will do it for quarter number 1. 15 fun minutes. It took the Beacons a little bit to get started, but those past 11 minutes, rapid-fire offense, and a 9-0 lead. We'll take a quick break here on the Beacon Broadcasting Network, brought to you by LittleEast.tv. Beacons leading at the end of 1, 9-0. All right, so you learn something new every day. Now we know how to run the timeout timer on the scoreboard. We're back here. It's the start of the second quarter. The Beaks 9 first-quarter goals, looking to keep it rolling in a conference matchup against the Salem State Vikings. Here's Connor Smith, and a big save made from Trevor Gilligan. He did have, in spite of allowing 9 goals, he was faced with just a peppering of shots from the Beacons. Held up strong, made 8 saves on 17 Beacons shots on goal. Greg Wolf, 10 goals on the season. First time in the action today, and he wants to get right into the mix. Left-handed dodge to Smith. Wow! Yeah, that's right. That was a dirty shot from Connor Smith. Greg Wolf drew 2 defenders, slips the pass over, and it's so low and quick. And for the second time today, and the 28th time this season, Connor Smith finding Twine, and the Beacons up double digits. It's 10-0. That shot just comes so quick. And it's so powerful from Smith. He shoots from all possible angles. Imagine a clock, 360 degrees from, midnight all the way around. He can let the shot go, and he went low and middle on that release for his second goal of the game, and this 28th now of the season. It was a natural worry how the Beacons were going to get their goal scoring back with losing Michael Claflin's 50 goals from last season, as well as Dara Fahey's 41 goals. Now Michael Claflin on the sideline, one of the assistant coaches for the Beacons, and just the pleasant addition that Connor Smith has been offensively. You can't understate it. I'm sure he loves his new home here on Beaconville. 4 great years at NEC. Got to show off, really, against his alma mater on Tuesday, but happily a member of the Beacons right now and letting it rip this afternoon. Ford got that started, and Culla going to take it away. Sean Culla with 2 goals today. Gets a big hit from Joshua Connolly on the backside. Nice play by number 0 from Salem State. Now Dakota Girard, 3 goals, 5 assists on the season. He just carried that right into trouble. Carey going to get called for the penalty. I believe that's going to go against him. It was Culla and Carey in the mix. Technical push is going to be the call. So there you go, 30 seconds for Pat Carey in the sin bin. This is the second opportunity with a man up for Salem State. So Carey takes a knee. The Beacons yet to allow a goal. They've allowed 3 shots on goal, 3 saves made by Otto Kierlees in the first quarter. Otto back in net for the second quarter here for the Beaks, but a man up for the next 30 seconds for the Vikings. Kevin Parator, the long stick midi. He's had it quite a bit today. He loses it. Nifty play by Tyler Norden to go over the shoulder, but Sean Culla, he's been everywhere in the midfield. He scoops it back up. He's got 2 goals today, vying to maybe be the first Beacon hat trick this afternoon. Smith to Banks. Once again, that pass just out of reach of Banks. He sticks with it. This is going to get kicked away. Oh, and kept in the zone beautifully. So Chapman comes on. The carry penalty was over. Great stick check from Thomas. Admirand picks it up. We're back at even strength right now. Admirand to Banks to Chapman. Oh, he missed that one high and right. The angle we had, I thought he picked the corner just high. It'll stay with the Beacons. 51 on a running shot clock. Oh, they don't pick up Beauregard sneaking into the attack, and he scores! Nolan Beauregard, he kind of quietly snuck into the backside of the attack, gets the long pass, and beats Trevor Gilligan 5-hole. And I mentioned before this broadcast started, a very pleasant freshman contributor, 14 goals on the season, make it 15 now as Nolan Beauregard scores his first of the game. And the Beacons extend the lead to 11. It's 11-0. 11-0? 2:15 into this second quarter. Still have 12:46 left to go in quarter number 2. Get another look at Aiden Hollingsworth in the face-off circle. Matt Lucozzi gets the win. Smith gets the pass from Lucozzi. Tried to shovel that across the Banks. Just 100% on the creativity scale from Connor Smith there. Goes between the legs to keep it in, and that's worked again for the Beacons. Ranta in a difficult spot, but he gets it out to McGonigal. Shane McGonigal. Shot, scores as he picks the top right corner. Wow, that's his second goal of the season, and he does it beautifully. Going over, Connor Smith just flicks the pass to him, steps right into it, and it's Shane McGonigal picking the top right corner for his second goal of the season. What a rip as everybody is getting involved right now. 12 Beacon goals, 10 different goal scorers, and the fun, let the good times roll out here on Cotter Field. Now McNeely back in the faceoff circle. He commits the violation, and not just a violation, it will be a penalty against Jason McNeely. So this is the third face-off win for Salem State. And it's a DOG against McNeely, so he's in the sin bin for 30 seconds. The Beacons are 3 for 3 on killing off man-up opportunities, and they even do have a man-down goal in this contest. So the man-up opportunities haven't hurt them. I'm sure it's frustrating for the coaching staff. They've had a man-up once, and it's now 4 different man-ups for Salem State here. All right, so 12:15 on a running clock here. Big stick check from Darian Clay, and he's running back the other way. Clay has Smith to his left. Looks at Banks to his right. Back across the field to Smith. Shot, scores! Tic-tac-toe, and that's with a man down. It goes Clay to Banks to Smith, and the Beacons up their largest lead. It's their 13th goal, and it is the that's the third goal now for Connor Smith. 3 on the afternoon, 29 on the season. So he's 1 away. Connor Smith from Darian Clay with the goal. Connor Smith from Darian Clay with the goal, his third, and it's the second goal with a man down scored by the Beaks. Pardon me.
3, 2, 1, release.
Penalties over. Admiran pings off the top left crossbar. That would have been a full-strength goal. Over to Murphy. Murphy scores, and he gets involved in the action as Banks finds Murphy for the quick goal. Banks walked it back in, and they doubled up covering him. Murphy was able to step right in. Luke Murphy scores for Luke. That's his 12th goal of the season, and he now has 30 points on the campaign. Jacob Banks with 1 goal today, but yet another assist in the mix. 5 goals already here in the second quarter. We're barely 3 minutes in. What a quick pace the Beacons are operating on right now. Another face-off win for the Beaks here on the running clock. 11 and a half minutes left to go in the second quarter. Mezawar over to Mick Flynn. Around we go. Banks back up top to Flynn. He had the second goal of this contest, scored it with a man down. It was a beautiful goal. We've had a lot since then. Hard to forget that one. It was his 10th of the season. Admiran for a second dodges in. Now he'll shuffle back. Looks back to Smith. Connor Smith already with a hat trick today. Flynn's pass is deflected. Oh, big play to keep it into the zone, though. Nice job. It's still loose in front. And Banks picks it up. And now Smith from a dangerous spot. He goes down low for Admiran. Gavin keeping the right-handed cradle with the stick out. 33 on the shot clock. Beaks taking their time on this possession with Flynn. Looks towards the middle, now slips it over to Banks. Back to Flynn. That one's deflected. Skirts all the way back out, giving chase on the play. Zach Mann. Mann gets to it. Oh, and Admiran helps him out and keeps it in the zone. Nice play, and it resets the shot clock for the Beaks. Admiran cruising in. Bounce pass to Smith, and he scores. What an assist. That was basketball 101. The slow bounce pass from Admiran to Smith. He goes with the bounce shot between the legs of the goalie for the 4th time today. And Max Clifford, the 30th time this season. Connor Smith with a goal. Everything coming up Beacons this afternoon here. And I'll knock on wood. There's not any wood to knock on. Even the rain stopped right now at Cotter Field. So it's all good news for the Beaks. I can't talk about it enough, but the addition to Connor Smith has been a revelation for the Beacons offensively. And when you have Gavin Admiran going all the way back to the midfield line to keep a ball in the zone, it just helps to have another player not even have to think about it and slot it into the back of the net. Another face-off win for Lucozzi. He's only lost 1 this afternoon. Matt, yet to have a point on the season. He might be vying for maybe a goal or an assist on this possession here as they keep him in the personnel. Now Lucozzi heading off towards the box. Ranta's going to join the attack. Now Jack Ranta scores! Goes high to low and tucks it in! Jack Ranta, he stayed in with the long stick to be the 6th member of the offensive personnel. I'm not sure who was able to slide that pass over to him, but it's number 13, Jack Ranta, finding Twine. For Jack, it's his 3rd of the season. 16 Beacons goals. We're not even 25 minutes into this game yet. We're not even 20 minutes into this game yet. 10-14 left to go. The Beacons are leading 16-0. Hollingsworth does have 4 face-off wins on the afternoon, looking to add to his total here, but no McNeely. And that's got to be a tough task for Hollingsworth. He has to do a lot for this team. He has to score goals, win face-offs, and you can see 2 of the best face-off men in the conference. He's won 4 times, but already looks a bit winded out there as the struggle continues for Salem State just to get it into their offensive zone here. Wolf and Chapman joining the attack. Connor Smith with his 4 goals, winds the pass over to Chapman. Charlie has to go down low to get it. That's a really nice play defensively out of the long stick midi. Kevin Parator dispossessing Chapman. Charlie gets it back and gets it over to Ford. Admiran to Ford. High shot. That was pinged off the crossbar. That went to about the 6th row of the stands in Cotter Field there, and it bounces back into play. That ball will get all the way back to Patrick Colburn on the 41-yard line. So Colin Ford, don't let anyone tell you don't have a hard shot, because that ball bounced all the way back about 50 yards across the field. We'll wind it back to Smith now. Over to Chapman. He has Admiran behind the net, goes over to Smith. Smith playing a bit more up high today, and it's working out for him. Wolf! Low shot. That one was tipped in front. I believe that was number 88, Jonas Seeger, touching it first. And it goes behind the net. 45 to shoot. Admiran angling to his right. Looks for Chapman. Chapman yet to score today, and that ball once again blocked in front. Just tried to weave it through a maze of bodies there. Couldn't do it. But as Banks is, he's been back on the X a lot today. He'll be the first to wind it back into play. Over to Smith. To Chapman. Charlie, right-handed cradle, fakes the pass back to his left, looks over to Colin Ford. Ford to Banks. Banks, that pass is deflected in the middle. It goes down low. It's still loose, and it gets all the way into Trevor Gilligan. He'll scoop it up and take it out of trouble. 8:45 on a running clock here as the Beacons lead the contest 16-0. But this is a nice play by the Vikings. Getting it out, they clear, and here we go. Vikings into the zone, low shot, and that's a score for Kyle Tamaro, pardon me. It looked like he suffered a pretty bad injury earlier on in this contest along the 40-yard line. He's back with some moxie, and he steps into one for the goal. It's his 2nd goal of the season. And Kyle Tamaro gets the goal. So, making that play happen is number 99, Kyle Tamaro, the junior out of Saugus, Mass, scoring his 2nd goal of the season. All right, so now it's back to Hollingsworth. Can he get a win and keep this going? Or, pardon me, that's a new face-off man. That's Glenton Doan for the Vikings. But he can't win that face-off. The face-off is won. And moving forward with it is Matt Laverty in for the Beaks. Laverty, the 3rd in line in the face-off department. And he'll stay in the offensive attack with the long stick. Gallagher has it now. Gets knocked off his block on the play by Hunter Thomas. Nice defensive presence there out of number 91. Murphy over to Smith, to Laverty. Beacons leading the Vikings 16-1 here in the 2nd quarter. Smith fakes the pass, goes to Banks, and he scores. Connor Smith to Jacob Banks is the combination that is working today, and for the 2nd time today, and in just 4 games, the 10th time this season, Jacob Banks scores. Hey, welcome back to the roster, Jacob Banks. He's in double figures, so both Jacob Banks and Mick Flynn finding double-digit goals on the season, and the Beacons right back to their tied for their largest lead of the contest. It's 17-1. 40 shots already for the Beacons. 5 shots for Salem State. They've scored on 1 of them. Another face-off win for McNeely. Has Beauregard back to his left. Nolan has a goal today. Smith to Beauregard. Little give and go. All the way around the perimeter we go here to Jacob Banks. Here's Adrian Filosh joining the attack. He slides the pass over to Beauregard, back to Flynn. So some youngsters in the offensive attack here. Banks over to Beauregard, to Smith. That shot was deflected on the way, it looked like. Banks is the closest to it, but not a clean release on that shot from Connor Smith. Halfway through the 2nd quarter now, Beacons leading 17-1 with Banks looking for a pass to Beauregard. Once again, around the perimeter they go. Flynn might have had an angle to dodge. Instead, he slips it over to Adrian Filosh. Back to Flynn. Flynn, a right-handed cradle. He gets knocked off his line by Kevin Parator. They've asked a lot of him this afternoon. He's been up to the task. Smith fakes the pass down low, goes around to Beauregard. Beacons keeping it along the perimeter here with just 20 to shoot. Flynn goes for the low shot. Oh, it's scooped up. Quick hands down low. That was Admirand. That shot went wide from Flynn, but Admirand just grabbed it with his stick and pocketed it in. 18 goals now for the Beacons, and that was a rather how-do-you-do goal for Gavin Admirand. He has a hat trick today and 39 goals on the season. Beacons up 18-1. It looks like McNeely back in the face-off circle as the Beacons going with a 3-man rotation today. No, that's Lucosi. I'm sorry, that's 39, not 33. Tough to tell from this angle. So Lucosi's back in, and he wins again. Only lost 1 face-off this afternoon. Now 11 of 12. He survives the stick check and keeps the ball in the offensive zone. Timothy Sullivan, 5 goals on the season over to Smith. Mann joining the attack. Admirand spins into some room here. Keeps the pass up. Mann slots to the middle of the field. And he's right there. The pass was intended for him from Banks. Good hustle there from Timothy Sullivan to keep it in. Sullivan, one of the few players that has the black frame on the stick with the black strings. It's hard to miss him. Looks like he wants to let it rip here from the left angle. Slot can't do it, and that pass goes right between the legs of Zach Mann. Unforced error for the Beacons. They have been few and far between this afternoon, but it's tough to ignore one like that. As the ball given right back to the Vikings, try to chip away at this 18-1 lead. Great stick check by Jacob Banks, like he's right back on the hockey field. And now here's Evan Twombly to Admirand in the middle, and he scores. And Evan Twombly going to join the score sheet as he gets the assist on that goal. Gavin Admirand, not 38, not 39, 40 goals on the season, and his 40th goal comes off a beautiful assist from Evan Twombly. His 4th today. Smith has 4 for 30 on the year. Admirand has 4 for 40 on the year. And we have a timeout on the field. 6:08 left in the second quarter. The Beacons leading 19-1. More after this on the Beacon Broadcasting Network, brought to you by LittleEast.tv. So, yeah. Is it back on for you guys right now? Camera's not turning on. Dave? I don't know what it's plugged into. Can you try that again? So it just not turning on. On, right? Hey guys, we're still here with you. Camera should be back momentarily. No action miss right now. The score is still 19-1. The second we get it back, camera should come back on for you guys, but I'm still here with you. This is Chris Del Sordo calling the action on the Beacon Broadcasting Network. Should have figured that was going to happen, right? We were dodging the weather a lot this afternoon, but there is some lacrosse being played in front of our eyes, so I'll relay the message right now. Dodging across midfield for the Vikings, Miles Desperis. Colin Ford pestering him, but he keeps the cradle alive. Winds it back in the direction of Kyle Tamaro, but he's dispossessed on the play. That was Max Hamilton Jones trying to win possession back. We'll be all right. If nothing else, we'll get the camera back by halftime here. No video. Try. right, Colin Colby with the ball right now, rumbling through midfield to Max Hamilton-Jones for the Beaks. Hamilton-Jones, high cradle, low shot, and the save made for Gilligan. That was Hamilton-Jones vying for his first Beacon goal of the afternoon. It goes right back out to Connor Smith. Smith to Max. To Ford. Low shot, and it just goes low and wide. That one was slotted well. Gilligan was there in the corner. All right, we're back, guys. Thanks for sticking with us here as McGonigal goes behind the net to Admirand. 42 to shoot for the Beaks. 4:30 left in the quarter. The Beacons with 19 goals already. Up top, Banks to Ford. Ford thought about the shot, gives it to Smith. He won't think about it. He'll just let it rip. And for the 5th time today, Connor Smith finds Twine. The Beacons, 20 goals on the afternoon. They're leading 20-1. Connor Smith, that's one of his best qualities. He is always ready to let the shot fly. And Gavin Admirand having a fantastic afternoon in his own right. But this has been Connor Smith's game to remember. You got to think maybe even knowing his goal-scoring prowess that he might have been getting needled by some of the Beacons. Like, hey, dude, you only have 26 goals for us. If you guys don't know this, I couldn't believe Connor Smith scored 50 goals in an 11-game season for NEC 2 years ago. So the man is a certified goal scorer, and he's really showing off this afternoon. Here's Jamie Lynn. Down low to Smith. To Admirand, and he scores. It's just too easy. Lynn to Smith to Admirand, and when he doesn't score, he'll get the assist. Gavin has 5. He's up to 41. And the fun carries on. Chronologically, these were the last 4 goals for the Beacons. Admirand, Smith, Admirand. And so it's nice when the usual suspects are really locked in and clicking on all cylinders right now. Another quick release shot from Admirand. The Beacons now 12 second quarter goals. Goal for the Vikings was scored by Kyle Tamaro midway through the quarter. Face-off win for Lucosi to Smith. He was vying for number 6, and a big save made there by Trevor Gilligan. He's been asked to do a lot. That is the 50th Beacons shot already. And Trevor Gilligan has been busy. 29 saves. 29 saves on 50 Beacon shots. That man deserves an ice bath, a cold Gatorade, everything after this contest. Kyle Tamaro joining the attack, which he was the lone goal scorer so far for the Vikings. He'll wheel it back, wind it over to Miles Desperis. Miles, a junior out of Peabody, Mass. Winding down the right flank, goes to Hollingsworth behind the net. Yet to hear out of Aiden Hollingsworth offensively today. Big dodge against Patrick Colburn, can't get around his body. Keeps the right-handed cradle alive, though. Has offensive position now. Hollingsworth spinning, and he'll opt to pass it back to Joshua Connolly. 2-man game here for Connolly and Hollingsworth. Great defense applied by Justin McCullough, and there's just nowhere for Aiden Hollingsworth to go. We're down under 20 on the shot clock. Dodges it kind of right into trouble. It's picked up on the play by Desperis. Miles, he has 12 to shoot as he'll wind it back one-on-one with Luke Murphy. Left-handed cradle, good spin, but Murphy the stick check to dispossess him. It won't be picked up. Instead, it's Jamie Lynn taking it out of trouble for the Beaks. Over to Otto Kierlees, whose stellar first half continues. And now the Beacons with a clear opportunity and a clear conversion. Murphy across, 2.5 left to go in the quarter. That pass high for David Oman, and it just goes right off his stick and out of bounds. Can't see that happening. Even amidst a 21-1 lead like that, the Beacons wanted to get into their offense there, and just a rather lackadaisical play from David Oman couldn't field the pass from Luke Murphy. Connor Smith, great defensive pressure, and he'll force the turnover, and here comes Gavin Admirand unmarked. A lot of room to operate. Admirand peels it back, right-handed cradle. Twombly comes off, Chapman comes on, and now Banks with the ball behind the net. Banks all the way out up top. Oman across to Chapman. Chapman, right-handed cradle, wheeling behind the net. Charlie looking for his 20th goal, one of the few goal scorers yet to score this afternoon. Oman to Smith. To Admirand, to Chapman, and he scores just like that. It is another Gavin Admirand assist, and he's showing off the patience there. We knew Chapman wanted to get a goal. He gets in a position to score, and for the 20th time this season, Charlie Chapman finds Twine. The Beacons lead 22-1. Admirand's stellar game continues as He joined that attack there, floated off to the corner, and then just waited for Chapman to get to the doorstep. A nice low finish there from Charlie Chapman for his 20th goal on the season. 5 for Smith with 5 assists. 5 for Admirand with 4 assists. 3 for Banks with 4 assists. Sean Culla with 2. And 8 other Beacons with 1 goal apiece. That's how we got to 22-1. Twombly spins. He gets knocked off the ball. Oh, but he gets back to it. Right in front of the net. No, and he misses wide to the left. Oh, that would have been a goal to remember for Evan Twombly. Instead, he misses wide left. But he's creating a lot of opportunities this afternoon. Sure to be back on the frame of net soon. Here's Banks, unmarked in the left corner. That pass intended for Laverty in the middle. It's still loose in front. Wolf reaches up. He can't scoop it out of trouble. It's still at everyone's feet, and now it's picked up on the back of the play by Jack Seward-Daly. Whistle, though, down low. And I don't know who this one's going to go against. Call is against the Vikes, so it stays in the Beacons' offensive zone. It goes over to Jacob Banks. Banks to Laverty. The save is made by Gilligan in front. Matt Laverty fighting for his second goal of the season right there, vying for it. Couldn't get the shot off. Once again, the ball goes back to Trevor Gilligan. He has an inordinate amount of ground balls picked up in this contest. And a great pass there finds Dakota Gerard. Here's Gerard. Down low and a shot and a score. It does go in for Aiden Hollingsworth. Dakota Gerard, he's the team's leader in assists. He just got his 6th assist of the season. And the team leader in goals, Aiden Hollingsworth, just collected his 14th of the season. So for the 14th time this season, Aiden Hollingsworth finds twine for Salem State. And the Vikings are back to within 20. It's Beacons 22, the Salem State Vikings 2. That was a really nice pass to clear the midfield zone for the Vikings. And then once Gerard got it into his stick, he was not going to waste a second angling right towards the net. He knew Hollingsworth was there. Gerard was able to slip a nice pass off, and Hollingsworth does deposit it past Otto Kierlees. That was just the 6th shot of the first half for the Vikings. 2 have beaten Otto Kierlees. He's made 4 saves. Max Hamilton-Jones scores! Banks with his 6th assist, and it's Max Hamilton-Jones slicing through the middle of the field. He gets the shot up high. Everything's coming up Beacons right now. I don't want to say it yet, let's confirm this with the score sheet. That is the first career goal for Max Hamilton-Jones, and it's a beautiful pocket finder on the top right of the net. Always love those moments when you can have a first career goal. That's going to be a nice moment and big conference performance at that. We have 45 seconds left to go here in the first half, and the Beacons are up 23-2. Luke Cozy, he's only lost 1 faceoff today. Not scooped up yet by the Vikings. That's a nice play there from Tamaro to get into the mix, but he doesn't win it. It will count as a faceoff win for the Beaks. That Lynn pass goes right over the head of Luke Cozy, but it stays in thanks to Colin Ford. Here's Admirand. Still in amidst a phenomenal game. Oh, slinking into the backside of the play. Couldn't get the shot off, was Mann. And Lynn, I think he got cut off on the play by Ford. Jamie Lynn first to it. Some miscommunication there. He thought that he had help behind him. Instead, Lynn didn't realize he was the 6th man. He flips it into the offensive zone, and so it's free possession for Salem State. Dakota Gerard has 5 seconds to get a shot off here. I don't know if he knows that. It's going to be one last attempt thrown away, and that will do it for the first half. What a phenomenal performance by the Beacons. In 30 minutes of lacrosse, they scored 23 goals. At halftime, our score, the UMass Boston Beacons 23, the Salem State University Vikings 2. We'll take a quick break and have the halftime numbers right after this on the Beacon Broadcasting Network, brought to you by LittleEast.tv. Welcome back. It's halftime here at James Conner Field. The Beacons looking for their 7th win on the season, and they're well on their way towards it, holding a 21-goal lead over the Salem State Vikings here at halftime. It's Beacons 23, Vikings 2. Side-by-side statistics, and you can see how we got to this point. The Beacons, that's not a typo, 49 more offensive shots than the Vikings, just 3 saves made by Otto Kierlees, 60% save percentage on the 5 shots. If my mental math is correct right now, that's 32 saves. That's what we have for Trevor Gilligan. His busy day continues, so it's going to be a career day for him by the time this game comes to an end. The ground ball battle, too, that's kind of the silent battle that shows up in the score sheet. You take a look back, you see how we got to that point, too. It feels like every ball bouncing around midfield just was destined for a Beacon stick in that first half. 42 ground balls to 10, and the Beacons 22 out of 26 in the face-off circle. Matt Lucozzi only lost 1 of his draws. McNeely only losing 3 of his draws. So you just want to look at really every aspect of a lacrosse game right now. We knew what the matchup was coming into this afternoon. This was a team that the Beacons did score 30 goals against last season, but you really want to hone in on the execution. The first 3 minutes of this contest, very sloppy. Not something that Coach Lowe is going to like when he looks back on the film of this contest, but then the Beacons found their groove, and the goals came fast and often. No point in going through them chronologically. It's a lot of different Beacons. Here's where we are at. Connor Smith right now has 5 goals and 5 assists today. Gavin Admiran, 5 goals, 4 assists today. Jacob Banks, 3 goals, 5 assists. That's probably the line that everybody's the happiest about, because it looked like Jacob Banks only was trying to get assists this afternoon, and he already has a hat trick to boot. Sean Culla with 2 goals, and then 1 goal apiece for Charlie Chapman, Luke Murphy, Max Hamilton-Jones, Shane McGonigal, Jason McNeely, Nolan Beauregard. Jack Ranta and Colin Ford also have a goal, and they each have an assist as well. 2 goal scorers in the first half for the Vikings. It was Kyle Tamaro early in the second quarter, his 2nd of the season, and then Aiden Hollingsworth from Dakota Girard late in the second quarter for his 14th of the season. Have 5.5 minutes before we get started with half number 2, so we'll take a quick break. When we come back, the second half, I got to leave you guys with this. The Beacons' record for most goals in a game is 30. 31 was the published goal for the team. In talking with them today, they want to get to that number. They can very easily, depending on how the second half goes, beat their franchise record for most goals in one contest. So don't go far. We'll be back in 5 minutes with the second half here on the Beacon Broadcasting Network, brought to you by LittleEast.tv. You know, it's hard to have a good time in the weather like this, but when the Beacons score 23 goals in the first half, we can smile a little bit. Have to let the clock run off right now. Sharing our laughs with the referees, guys, up here at Cotter Field. And guess what? We do have 30 more minutes of lacrosse for you here on the Beacons Broadcasting Network. Have to wait for that timer to run down, I guess we're ready to go right here. It's Jason McNeely lining up in the faceoff circle. And pardon me, that's 32. So this is Jack DeFalco Wheeler, the third of 3 faceoff guys for the Beaks, and he is 1 for 1 on the afternoon. So the strong day in the circle continues. And now DeFalco Wheeler skips the pass to Ford, but gets it out of trouble. And so the Beacons underway offensively here for half number 2. Mick Flynn behind the net to Adrian Filosh. Back to Flynn. Flynn, he faked the shot. A miscommunication there. I think that was intended to be a pass for Wolf. 1 for 1 on the unforced errors for the Beacons to start this half number 2. You got to figure that first half performance is not going to be replicated from Salem State. They have their frontline attackers out here and definitely want to try to up that number from 2. So going to expect an offensive charge here in the opening couple of minutes in this second half. Mike Zarro, the defender out of Peabody, Mass, going to take on all the way through Owen Gallagher. Finally, Gallagher with a poke check. He dispossesses it. Otto Kearley still in net for the Beacons. He gets the start today, and he continues. He saw 5 shots in that first half, and he made 3 saves on 5 shots. Darian Clay, he had an assist in the first half, takes it across the timeline here, waiting for Colin Ford to join him. Owen Gallagher joins the fun as well as Greg Wolf takes the pass and slides around the perimeter here. Wolf is a very dangerous left-handed shot. He fires a pass back into Filosh to Gallagher, who scores. It's over the goal line, and Owen Gallagher getting his first. It's Adrian Filosh on the assist. Filosh gets the assist, so he joins the party for Owen Gallagher. I believe that's number 4 on the season. Number 3 on the season for Gallagher, so he joins the fun, and the Beacons extend their lead to 22. It's Owen Gallagher from Adrian Filosh on the dime. And we'll go back the other way now to the center circle. It's McNeely in the center circle. He gets another win for the Beaks. He plays it back in the direction of David Oman, and now Oman ahead to Wolf. So it'll be interesting to see the personnel the Beacons decide to use here in this second half. 24 goals now, 13:30 left to go in the third quarter. Flynn to Filosh behind the net. Adrian, the true freshman, seeing some action on the X this afternoon. Sullivan looks over to Greg Wolf. Wolf, he's such a dangerous big body as he's roaming around the perimeter here. Zach Mann loses his stick. He goes back to scoop it up. Here's Wolf high up the slot. Flynn looking to angle that shot from a long distance and didn't have David Oman ready. Oman not sliding along the perimeter with Flynn. Mick kind of carried that one into some trouble, and it will be the second turnover unforced committed by the Beaks here in the second half. Thomas winds it back to Desparis. Miles Desparis has had the ball quite a bit this afternoon. Clearing has not gone well for the Vikings, and once again, Desparis gets dispossessed. It's going to get scooped up on the play by Timothy Sullivan. Flynn with the dispossession. Sullivan dodges through trouble, still has the ball, and a big save from Gilligan out front. Shot clock resets. Flynn picks it up. Flynn dodges 2 defenders, gets it back out to David Oman. Over to Zach Mann. Thought about the long shot. Back to Oman. Oman, the pass behind the net. To Flynn. To Wolf between the legs. That one almost got through. That was like a football snap from Greg Wolf. It's picked up by Mick Flynn. 12:20 on the running clock. And we'll walk it around here with Adrian Filosh. Just had an assist on the Gallagher goal. That pass behind Sullivan, but Timothy will keep it in. Sullivan, 5 goals in now 8 games for the Beaks this season. Everything good here on the broadcast booth is Filosh. Crossfield pass to Wolf. Oh, and that one's just eaten up. A beautiful block by Hunter Thomas as he puts his body on the line and just eats that snapshot off the chest. Just 20 to shoot here for Greg Wolf as the Vikings defense really ratcheting it up here in half number 2. Flynn to Filosh. to Sullivan. Was too quick on the shot attempt. Wolf gets it, 8 to shoot, but Wolf in a dangerous spot, and he picks the top right corner. Greg Wolf did that himself. He scooped up the ground ball, found the angle, and picks the top right corner. And it's number 41, Greg Wolf, for the 11th time this season, finding twine. The Beacons have their largest lead of the afternoon. It is now 23. It's Beaks 25, Vikings 2, and the rotation in the center circle continues. It went to Falco Wheeler, then McNeely. Now it's time for Matthew Lucozzi. The first two have won their first two faceoffs. Let's see if Lucozzi is up to the task. Goes between the legs and wins it as Kyle Tomorrow joining the fray there. He can't win that faceoff, and so the Beacons back on the front foot offensively. Wolf to Flynn. A lot of room to shoot, and he scores! Tucks it inside the right post. It's Mick Flynn for the second time today, and Greg Wolf, very busy. 10 seconds for him. He gets the goal and the assist as Mick Flynn scores for the second time today, and the 11th time this season. We're getting close, folks. That's 26 goals now for the Beacons. We still have 11:30 left to go in the third quarter. And once again, we're cycling through the faceoff men, so it's back to Jack DeFalco Wheeler, lining up across Kyle Tamaro. Jack with the win. He's now 3 for 3 on the afternoon. Now 15 of 26 on the season. Quickly moving it ahead. McGonigal to Wolf to Filosh. Man, fake the shot, or pardon me, that's Mick Flynn fake the shot. And now he'll wind it back. Evan Twombly coming off, Matt Laverty coming on. Flynn looks back to Mezawar. Carson thought about the long-angled shot. He'll slip it back up to Mick Flynn. Trying to dodge off that perimeter is Flynn over the shoulder around to Shade McGonigal. McGonigal has a goal today, 2 on the season. Mezawar's got 5 on the season. But he got dispossessed. Great stick check there by Mike Zarro, who's having a nice game defensively in one-on-one opportunities. But Mezawar picked up the loose ball, passes it to Wolf, in a big play from Gilligan, scooping that one out of trouble. That's a basketball player right there, just kind of going into the fray and batting at the loose ball. He got it ahead to his teammate Wolf, and that shot was saved by Gilligan. But nice hustle there from Mezawar. That pass intended, I believe, for Flynn. Mezawar was in the area too, but it will be a turnover for the Beaks. Ball back to the Vikings. And Coleman Hay, the grad student, tasked with the clear. 10.5 minutes left to go in the third quarter. Beacons leading 26-2. Team stats here, the Beacons have scooped up 49 ground balls to Salem State's 11. The Beacons have committed 15 turnovers. Salem State has committed 23, so not the cleanest game by any means for the Beaks, but they really came alive here in that second quarter and just got this game to a point where the conclusion never really in doubt. McGonigal picks that one clean, has Flynn wide open. Oh, and he missed it. He tried to tuck it inside the right post there, and you saw Flynn get a little flashy. He cradled left, shoots right, misses it wide to the right. But Greg Wolf is the closest to it, and so the Beacons will walk it back in, 73 to shoot. Mick Flynn really taking his time there, looking in the direction of Matt Laverty. He's a tall target. Instead, they slip it over to Mezawar. He's got the angle. Look, big save from Trevor Gilligan. He got to see that one all the way into the stick, and he follows it low to high and makes the big save. This one could be coming to us, boys. Out of play, and it'll go back to the Beacons. That's the 24th turnover of the game for Salem State, and Mezawar quickly back into the attack. He has a man turned around, passes it in front to Flynn. Yes, he scored! Oh my goodness, Mick Flynn for the hat trick. He's only 155 pounds. He absorbed the contact and gets the one-handed throw in for the goal. It's the 27th goal of this contest, and probably the best one to remember, a hat trick for Mick Flynn, and the Beacons are up 25. It's 27-2. Hey, I tell you what, Max Clifford next to me, that is a tough lacrosse play right there, because he took every bit of that hit and somehow had the wherewithal to one hand. It was like a football pass into the back of the net almost for Mick Flynn. You're not going to score a prettier hat trick goal than that. Across the defense we go. Shot, scores, and it continues. Adrian Filosh finding twine. He picks the top right corner, does Adrian Filosh. For Adrian, that is his second goal of the season. He has 2 points today. The fun continues, folks. The Beacons with 28 goals, 3 away from the franchise record, the school record for most goals in a contest. Gallagher, yeah. We're back underway here. Another face-off win for the Beacons. 9 minutes left on a running clock here. The Beacons 2 goals away for tying a program record for most goals in a contest, 3 away from setting it. Beauregard and Ford, a 2-man game around the perimeter. It's really full of the second line of personnel for the Beacons and a lot of freshmen seeing extended playing time here in the third quarter. Gallagher, back to Wolf. Greg just had a goal and assist a couple of minutes ago. That pass to Beauregard, he wasn't ready for it, but look at D. Clay scooping. No, it just goes wide. It got underneath Trevor Gilligan, but it doesn't get inside the post. Darian Clay almost had a beautiful goal for his second on the season. But another Trevor Gilligan save, that cannot be undernoted. He has to go down low, keep that one alive. Number one, he's seeing the ball well here in the third quarter for the Vikings. Desparis gets the clear for Salem State, but Clay sticks with it. Knocks it loose. Dangerous play here from Coleman Hay as he's right near the right sideline. He gets around Darian Clay nicely. That pass slips behind, but it's picked up by Miles Desparis. Nice read on the play by Beauregard, and Ford's going to scoop it up, and look at this. Ford has Beauregard to his right. It's hard to stop Colin Ford with a head full of steam. He draws the flag against Salem State. Beacons playing with a man up right now. Sullivan joins the attack with Beauregard to his left. Beacons holding a man up right now with a delayed penalty flag on the field. Ford to Wolf. Wolf with some room, opts for the pass. Filosh, low shot, big save right there. And finally, that will blow the whistle for that delayed penalty. So it's going to be a slashing call against Miles Desparis. He heads to the sin bin. That happened against Colin Ford about 40 seconds ago, and so it will be a 1-minute penalty against the Vikings. The Beacons just one man-up goal this afternoon. Scored 2 man-down goals, actually, already today. 7.5 minutes left in the third quarter. We still have a lot of time left in this contest. Beacons holding on to this lead, taking their time with it on offense now. Integrating a lot of young players into the mix offensively this afternoon. Sullivan turned. He had some room, didn't want the shot. Now we go across the field to Wolf. Nifty hands there from Greg Wolf. And around the left side of the offense we go. It's Owen Gallagher from the X. Nice reach in there. That looked like Kyle Tamaro knocking it out. And it will go off number 99. Ball stays with the Beaks. 30 seconds left on this penalty ballpark for the Beacons with a man up. Wolf, back to Ford. Ford going to test that long shot. Wow, it goes through some bodies and scores. Colin Ford for the second time today. It's another Greg Wolf assist, and a man-up goal for the Beacons puts them 1 goal away from tying the school record for most goals in a contest. Colin Ford for the second time today, and the 6th time this season, finding twine. DeFalco Wheeler into the face-off circle. And the Beacons, 22 minutes left in this contest. You need 1 goal in 22 minutes to tie a record. You got to think they're going to be going for it here. Nice to see with the bench kind of getting emptied out in this afternoon. Everybody's still frosty for the Beacons, still ready to score, ready to make plays. DeFalco Wheeler, that's a first-string quality face-off man that you have in his freshman year right now. He gets another win. He has yet to lose a draw this afternoon. Laverty to Zach Mann, over to Adrian Filosh. Over to David Oman now. Oman behind the net to Gallagher. Wolf was there. Gallagher wants him to slide towards the middle. That creates a lane for Filosh. He'll wind it all the way back to Zach Mann. 50 seconds in on the shot clock right now. You can see that's kind of the onus here for the Beaks, is taking time to find that good shot. Laverty was open. Filosh couldn't find him. Mann slips it over to David Oman. Here's Gallagher with some room to operate behind the net. Feels the long stick of Zorro. Creates some room. Oman to Mann. Zach fakes the long shot. Gets it to David Oman. Lets it rip, and a save is made from Trevor Gilligan. Oman put it there. Tried to go top right corner, but another save made for Trevor Gilligan. And now the clear coming from Jack Seward-Daly. Tough task here. Fronted by Greg Wolf, and he opts to just send it back to the goalie. Zorro launches that one into the midfield, and Max Hamilton-Jones was the closest to it. Dakota Gerard, though, giving chase. He's going to end up, well, not bats at it to keep it in, and he will turn it over to Justin McCullough. You like the thought on that. The execution not there for the Vikings. Twombly can't track it down. And now Desperes has a room. Right-handed angle dodge, loses it. Broden Youngclaws in net now for the Beacons. That would have been his first shot faced. Instead, that will go out of bounds. Patrick Colburn just ushers that ball out of bounds. And here we go, back on offense. Wolf goes high, shoots low, and scores. Nice pass from David Oman. Beautiful finish from Greg Wolf. And for Wolf, that's his second today, his 12th of the season. And the Beacons do tie the program record for most goals scored in a game, the mark that they set last year against Salem State. So Wolf with the goal. Another faceoff win for DeFalco Wheeler. He has planted himself in that spot in the faceoff circle. He gets another win for the Beacons. And so the next goal for the Beaks will set the program record for most goals in a contest. Just under 20 minutes left to go in the game now. It's 4:58 left in the third quarter. Beacons turn it over, ball back to the Vikings. Jack Seward-Daly, the sophomore out of Sheffield, Massachusetts, seeing some extended minutes here in the third quarter. He's tasked with the clear for the Vikings up the left side of the field. Slips the pass ahead, and I think Coleman Hay just got moving before he had it cleanly in his stick. The turnover forced by McGonigal to Mezawar in the middle. Mezawar fakes the pass, gets the shot up, and it misses wide. He had Filosh to his left. Filosh, a late run, can't get to it in time, and ball will go back to Salem State. Joshua Connolly, haven't gotten to call his name too often, turns it over. It's stolen by Mezawar, but the save is made by Gilligan. Carson Mezawar really gets to stick his nose in there on the defensive end. Almost got a goal, but a big save from Trevor Gilligan stonewalls Carson and keeps the score at 30-2. Got a whistle here against the Beaks. Ball back to the Vikings. Shot clock will reset. It was 9 goals scored in the first quarter by the Beaks. 14 in the second quarter. They've scored 7 more now in quarter number 3. Ball goes out of bounds off the Vikings, and right back quickly up the other way is Broden Youngclaws and the Beaks. Now, Youngclaws has shown the propensity to stick handle and to take the ball up the field. Finds Mezawar there, and look at this, springing the Beacons offense in rhythm. Wolf gets the high pass. Wolf, low shot, and another big save for Trevor Gilligan. Folks, do not forget that name. He has been staring at shot after shot all afternoon long, and that's another big save against the scorer in Greg Wolf, who netted 30 goals last year, has 12 goals this season. He knows what he's doing in front of the net. That was a beautiful save from Gilligan. Filosh, up top, Shane McGonigal. Over to Carson Mezawar. Bounces off his stick. He stays with it. Owen Gallagher behind the net. He's now operating from the X. Big hit on the backside there. That is going to be picked up, shot, and scores. And it's Timothy Sullivan with the goal. He goes low to high, and that sets it, folks, right there. 31 goals. A new school program record for the Beacons with 31 goals in one contest. And it was Timothy Sullivan bouncing it in. He bounces it up, and then it goes barred down for the goal. It's his 6th of the season. Beacons up by 29, not a typo. It's 31-2. Now feels like the right time to mention this in the broadcast, because the Beacons have just set the record for most Beacons goals in one game. The NCAA Division III record for most goals in one game is 40. And folks, I'd be remiss if I didn't mention that there is still 18 and a half minutes left in this lacrosse game. We'll leave it at that. Beacons win the faceoff. Flynn takes it across the 30-yard line here. And the Beacons once again with another faceoff win, nothing to do but just wind the offensive zone and get it working around the perimeter here with a shot clock. Ford in the direction of Filosh. Colin Ford kind of running the show now from the high midfield position, one of the lone seniors seeing action during this run of play. Beauregard, he had a goal very early in this contest. 15 goals on the season for Nolan. Beacons right now just seeing what they have around the perimeter here, who likes it, where they like it in this second unit on offense. Just trying to see if any lanes open up to get a good shot off. David Oman behind the net gets the pass from Gallagher. Back up to Ford. Over to Mick Flynn. Filosh, and you can see right now the Beacons really just not intending to run anything up here. You got a 90-second shot clock. We're down to 15 left on the shot clock, so that's 75 seconds effectively milked off right now. Winding it around is Mick Flynn. I don't know if the Beaks realize they only have 6 seconds left to shoot. Flynn winds it out, and that'll be it right there. So they'll give the ball back to Salem State, let the Vikings operate their offense. As that got us down under the 2-minute mark left in the third quarter. 1:57 on a now running clock for Salem State to get a clear. As we mentioned, that's been the toughest part of the day for Salem State. It's just getting the ball into their zone. 13 of 23 now on clear attempts. The Beacons, meanwhile, are 16 of 17. So it's picked up by Owen Gallagher after the big stick check. He feels a slash. You have a minute 30 right now. The shot clock resets here as the Beacons bring on the extra attacker. There is a flag on the field. Man to Flynn to Ford. If you let the shot clock wind all the way down here, there will be 9 seconds left in the quarter before the whistle gets blown. Flag blown again, so I'm not sure if this is the same flag just getting thrown, or it looks like there's another one down at the referee's feet on the other side of the field. So this is 2 pending penalties, it looks like, against the Vikings right now. Beacon still holding firm. Filosh to Flynn, over to Ford. You can see kind of a crisis here, decision-making wise for the Vikings on whether to make an attempt at stealing the ball right here or just let the Beacons kind of bleed this clock down. It doesn't look like the intention is to shoot at least for the remainder of this quarter for the Beaks. Go all the way back up to Filosh. Remember, there is a delayed penalty right now against Salem State. The Beacons just doing what they can to get some time off this clock as they lead by 29, still in the third quarter here. Man, going to let it rip. That one's deflected on the way in. Misses high. It'll stay with the Beacons. And we do have to deal with this flag. So we have 2 different slashing penalties against Salem State. Number 22, Miles Disparis, is a 2-minute penalty. Number 24, Mike Zarro, a 1-minute penalty. So going to be man up for the Beacons for the next 2 minutes, potentially. And it'll be interesting to see what the Beacons do with that as the clock rewinds here. Obviously, the Beacons' intention to just wind this clock to 0 and get us into the fourth quarter. And we'll see what the offense decides to do once we get to that point. Yeah.
Okay, sorry. We didn't know. Yeah, we didn't know. Sorry.
And that will bring us to the end of the quarter there as we had a clock malfunction. But we are through 45 minutes of lacrosse. And the score is 31-2. As we figure out what we got to do here at the scorer's table. 3 fun quarters of lacrosse, and we still have 15 minutes left to go. We'll see what that 15 minutes of lacrosse brings for us. But the Beacons, record setters this afternoon, could they be record setters of a different kind? We'll find out after the break here on the Beacon Broadcasting Network, brought to you by LittleEast.tv. All right, we're underway here, guys, at the start of the fourth quarter. Beacons holding this lead 31-2, playing with 2 men up right now. It will be interesting to see the approach right now as Ford gets it. He's in a shooting slot, and he misses wide to the left. You have Greg Wolf and Colin Ford and Carson Mezawar and Mick Flynn to that regard. Players that see regular playing time right now. They're kind of anchoring the offensive attack for the Beacons, though, and it looks like it's going to be that way for the start of this fourth quarter at least. So it's I think the shot clock. I think we're dealing with a shot clock error right now. All right, we're back. So, shot clock error, we had to figure that out, but a nice play clearing the zone for Tyler Norden. Norden gets the shot off for the Vikings, and the save was made in front by Avery Sears. So Avery Sears 1 for 1 on save opportunities, and his numbers have looked good in his very limited playing time this season for the Beaks. Avery, a true freshman out of Randolph, Vermont. Beacons in front, shot scores. It's Owen Gallagher right in front with some traffic. And that is going to be a man-up goal for Owen Gallagher, his second of the afternoon and his fourth of the season. Owen Gallagher, that goal is going to go unassisted in the record. We're back underway here at Cotter Field. Owen Gallagher scores his second goal of the contest, his fourth of the season. And we're underway again after the Beacons called for the face-off violation. It's been a nice game in the mid-circle for the Beacons. And now 13-30 separating the Beacons from their 7th win of the season and a 2-0 start to conference play. Hunter Thomas passes it out of bounds. Ball goes right back to the Beacons, and so Evan Twombly going to scoop it up and send it back into play. So McGonigal sends it back into play, and here we go. Matt Laverty, the long stick midi, now playing with a regular stick, anchoring the perimeter offense here for the Beaks. We just saw Owen Gallagher score the first goal of the fourth quarter. Mezawar looks back to the left. Now Mezawar angling all the way behind the net. Had a man in front. Tried to get it into Omen. He couldn't snag it, but Shane McGonigal first to it and does a great job holding off both comers. Oh, that's a nice play there by Day, I believe. Luke Day. And Coleman Hay combining to knock that one away. It will stay with the Beacons, though. It was last touch on the play by Coleman Hay. Pass to the middle. Omen shot. He's hit right in front. Big defensive stop by the Vikings right there, as Miles Desparis separates David Omen from the ball. Omen vying for his first Beacons goal there, couldn't get it. And now rumbling ahead is Kyle Tamaro. Shane McGonigal, very good defensive presence from the midfield, and it leads to the separation away from the ball. And Max Hamilton-Jones, fresh off his first career Beacons goal, sends it into the mix. McGonigal back to Gallagher. Owen Gallagher all the way across to Omen, and it's off the middle of his stick. Not ready for it, and it's picked up and sent back the other way by Jonas Seeger. Nice look all the way ahead as they try to just roll it down to Aiden Hollingsworth. He does have a goal today, and now he has it. Dodging in. Hollingsworth around Lynn. Tried to get the pass up, and it was just out of reach of Kyle Tamaro. That was the look the Vikings wanted right there. The 2 goal scorers today had a look in front of the net, and that pass just a little too high for Kyle Tamaro. Clock running here. It's 11:38 left in the contest. Beacons leading by 30, 32-2. Right now, the Beacons are holding. They have the record for most goals scored in a contest for the Beaks with 32. Also, this would be the largest margin of victory for the Beaks if this 30-point margin holds. Can't really expect that. You're going to have to figure that Salem State is going to be letting it rip offensively here in the fourth quarter. As Kevin Parator, right-handed dodge, goes back to the X in the direction of Gerard. Gerard, beautiful pass, and it was dispossessed by Max Hamilton-Jones. It was intended for Coleman Hay. He was in a goal-scoring spot, but the freshman from Saratoga Springs, Max Hamilton-Jones, recovers, and then look at this, deflects it loose. He's going to come up with that loose ball. It'll go right back into midfield, but no one stops Evan Twombly. And here's E.T. with a head full of steam. Over to Omen. Quick pass. Twombly's open in front. He shovels it over to Gallagher, and that's a nifty play for the Beacons. They could have let one go there. Instead, they're going to bleed some more time off the shot clock. Sportsman-like from Owen Gallagher there. Twombly and OG with an opportunity. Instead, they wind it back out. 10.5 left to go in the contest. 55 left to go on the shot clock. Well, let's see. I don't know if Gallagher... He shied away from the hat trick. That might have been coaching instructions on the play right there. But Twombly, really nice setup, was vying for an assist on that play. Gallagher behind to Mezawar. The Beacons floating it around the perimeter here, just looking for that one lane in to get a good shot on net. You don't want to take a shot here just for the sake of putting something on net. Laverty looks in the direction of McGonigal. It's Owen Gallagher dancing with it a little bit as he looks back to Carson Mezawar. This is Carson's first time on the X today. Omen shot. It goes wide to the right. Big rip right there for David Omen. He's one of the few Beacons yet to score this afternoon, yet to score this season, playing his 6th game on the year. And so the Beacons looking his direction. He'll give it back to Matt Laverty. Laverty, the freshman from Barnstable, Mass. Had some impressive early season games, did the true freshman, now seeing his way back into some playing time. Omen lets it rip. That is right off the shin of number 91, Hunter Thomas. He stands tall getting that block right there, but he's going to feel that one. It's not a chilly afternoon. In fact, it's rather nice with the rain stopping, but that doesn't feel good no matter the temperature. Beauregard on it now. Had Omen slinking in, and once again, just off the stick, his hands were in a shooting position. That's a great clear play by Jack Seward-Daly. He gets it ahead to Miles Desparis. He lost it momentarily, but gets the clear across the center line towards Kevin Parator. KP, as they affectionately call him here on the Vikings sideline, the junior out of Beverly. Still dodging with it now, left-handed. He gets inside Max Hamilton-Jones, and then Max Hamilton-Jones, great stick check to dispossess the ball from him. McCullough rumbling back ahead for the Beacons. Slips the pass over to Omen. Omen, shot, and that one's saved by Gilligan right off the base of the stick. It'll stick with the Beacons as both McCullough and Laverty, the closest to it. The concerted effort to find twine for David Omen continues. Still in jest. Still plenty of time, though, as the Beacons have 8:18 on a running clock here in the fourth quarter. Mezawar spins off. Looks back in the direction of Omen. They're giving him some room to operate. He opts to go back in the direction of Zach Mann. Mann to Laverty. Now Gallagher. In a different spot, you might see Owen try and take an angled shot from that point. Instead, the Beacons 40 more seconds to kill on the shot clock if they want. Man, he's got quick hands. He thought about that shot momentarily, but instead it finds its way out to Nolan Beauregard. Mezawar. All the way back out to Omen. 25 to shoot now as that one mishandled, but Laverty right there. Matt, plenty of room to wind it back out. He looks behind the net to Mezawar. Let's see if the Beacons try to angle one in towards the net here. Mezawar, no, back out to Beauregard. Nolan has a really good long shot. He might end up letting it rip. All right, the Beacons, it sounds like they want to get a shot off here. Omen does, and he misses just wide to the left. Ooh, they had the feed right there for him. That would have been a beautiful assist for Zach Mann. Instead, the shot misses wide. And that'll do it. That's a shot clock violation against the Beaks. They almost got it on frame. It doesn't hit the post, and so we'll go back the other way. This one's launched back into play. That's Jonas Seeger trying to find his teammate Dakota Gerard. And it just goes out, angled off of Gerard. You got to like the thought there from Seeger. Just couldn't field it cleanly in the cradle. Laverty on, along with Flynn and Ford. So your 6 in the offensive zone right now are Laverty, Mick Flynn, David Omen, Carson Mezawar, Owen Gallagher, and Colin Ford. Owen lost it for a second. Pardon me, Omen lost it for a second. Colin Ford helps him out. Flynn finding a double team. Ford clears some room for him with the screen. Now Omen. Left slot dodge to Laverty. It bounces off his stick, and that will get out of bounds, so the ball heads back to the Vikings. Beacons definitely letting off the throttle here in quarter number 4, but there's still been some mistakes that will probably need to be addressed here. You never like to see that. That's the 20th turnover committed by the Beacons in this contest. 5 a quarter, regardless of the score, a bit too many. Ford, great back check on the defensive end there, and Lynn comes and scoops it up out of trouble. Tyler Norden was trying to vie through 2 Beacons defenders. Dakota Gerard, a very nice stick check on the back end, but E.T. runs right onto it. And now Twombly has Lynn to his left, has Omen in the middle shot, and that's off of Thomas again. Hunter Thomas, I don't know if he's intentionally doing it or not, but has blocked 3 different David Omen shots in this quarter. One off the shin, one off the chest, that one kind of off the face mask. That pass from Flynn, he tried to force that one over to his left. It will be a Beacons turnover there, 21st of the afternoon. Ball will head back to the Vikings. Never mind, that's right, there was a flag on the field. It's going to be an offside penalty against, I believe they said 30. I think the call is going to be against number 20. That's Glenn Doan. So Glenton Doan in the sin bin. And 30 seconds now. Got to think the Beacons are probably looking to run the 30 seconds off at least. There's 55 on the shot clock. Ford to Flynn. Over to Omen. Lets it rip, and he got it. Oh, man, he scores in the top right corner. And another goal scorer to add to the mix. For the first time today and the first time this season, David Omen finding Twine. And the party continues. The Beacons are now 2 goals in front of their prior record. And the junior out of Sandwich, Massachusetts, picks the top right corner. The Beacons, their largest lead of the afternoon. It is 33-2. And Jack DeFalco Wheeler, where he is yet to lose today, back in the center circle, lining up across for number 99, Kyle Tamaro. Just a fun tally sheet of Beacons goal scorers this afternoon. Colin Smith, 5 goals and 5 assists. He hasn't even played in the second half. Same for Gavin Admiran, 4 and 5 in his right. Great stick check there by Vikings number 99, Kyle Tamaro. He's having himself a phenomenal individual performance today. That is his 4th caused turnover individually, and no other Vikings with more than 1. So defensively and offensively, it's been number 99's show. Dakota Gerard also, you can tell he is a very nifty player with the ball in his stick. Great back check there as that shot almost taken on the play by Miles Desparis. But the turnover forced, and now Adrian Filosh with some room. Looks to his left, has Owen Gallagher. 4:15 on a running clock here, and the Beacons with 65 on the shot clock. You got to think that most of that time will be run off. Timothy Sullivan, he has a goal this afternoon. Let's see, it's Gallagher, Filosh, Mezawar, McGonigal, Omen, and Timothy Sullivan. You're 6 in the offensive zone for the Beaks right now. The Beacons let the shot clock wind down to 0. There will be 3:10 left on the game clock. And that seems to be the modus operandi here. Around the perimeter we go. It's Filosh playing catch to his left and his right. Omen out on the left wing. Let's see if Shane McGonigal wants to do anything with it from up top there. No, instead it's Filosh. And a turnover for the Beacons. I think that's mainly the one stat the Beacons keep accumulating this afternoon is 4th quarter turnovers. They came into the 4th quarter with 16. They've committed 6 already in quarter number 4, up to 22. And so that's the lone dark spot really this afternoon. Beacons 33, Vikings 2. The clear attempt here as the ball finds its way to Coleman Hay. Coleman Hay, nice job there getting around Timothy Sullivan, so he clears it for the Vikings. Spins around Evan Twombly. Twombly's had a really nice afternoon from that long stick midi defensive position. That pass was a low pass, but it's actually good. It finds Joshua Connolly in front of Shane McGonigal, but problems on the scoop, and McGonigal just plucks it out of trouble. Oh, that's going to be an offsides call against Timothy Sullivan. And just the 5th penalty committed by the Beaks, their first in the second half. It was a very clean second half for the Beaks as Timothy Sullivan in the sin bins. 30 seconds for offsides. This will be the 5th man-up opportunity for Salem State, 1 of 4 in their prior 4 man-up opportunities. It'd be really nice to see the Vikings get one to take home with them to Salem here. It's afternoon. Not going the way they wanted to. This is definitely a team that can still come and compete in the LEC. This game, not indicative of Salem State's overall team talent. They do have a couple of very nice-looking goal scorers. Just didn't get a chance to let it rip this afternoon. Omen back. It looks like about 15 more seconds for Sullivan.
9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Release.
You hear the clock count down, so Sullivan's back onto the field, and the Beacons with 54 to shoot. We're at the 2-minute mark. 2-minute warning here on a running clock. Beacons, as you guys know, vying for their 7th win on the season. With the win, the Beacons will move to 7-3 on the year and 2-0 in the LEC. This loss will move Salem State to 1-8 on the season and 0-2 in the conference. Funny note that we actually just heard next to me on the scorer's table, 3 of the 4 Beacons goalies played. The one that didn't get the start today, the reigning LEC goalie of the week, Trevor Coppy, didn't need him, as Otto Kierlees played a great first half, and then that second half being split between Young Claws and Sears. And all 3 of the goalies, of the backup goalies for the Beacons, having a lovely afternoon in net. 5 seconds left to shoot, and that ball back deep in the corner, so it will go back to the Vikings right now. And Salem State with 70 seconds. Shot clock behind the game clock, and so this might be the last possession of this contest. Winding it up here is Jonas Seeger. Opts for the long pass for Dakota Girard. Like the thought right there, that's the second time that number 88 has tried it. It's tipped out of bounds by the Beacons, and so it stays with the Vikings behind the net. Girard with an assist this afternoon, trying to dodge around McCullough. Let's see. There's going to be a delayed whistle for a push against McCullough, so it will stay in the zone here for the Vikings. 39 seconds left to go here. A victorious afternoon at Cotter Field for the Beacons sees them set a new program record by 2. 33 goals, a new mark, best in the Beacons program history. It'll be a game to remember for head coach Tyler Lowe. That one over the stick of Kevin Parator. Sullivan chasing it down. It will be a push against Timothy Sullivan, and so one last look offensively for Salem State here as Kevin Parator walks over to it. 15 seconds left, and one last rush up the field. A game to remember and a record-setting afternoon at that. The final seconds tick off. There was a mission for today's game, and for the Beacons, you can consider that mission accomplished. Game over, Beacons win, and they move to 7-3 on the season. Once again, Salem State now 1-8 on the year. Beacons 33, Vikings 2. Final here on the Beacon Broadcasting Network. Stick with us. We won't be long. When we come back, we'll have the game's final stats and the final goal scoring tallies. Quite a bit of those to go through. Don't go far. We'll be right back here on the Beacon Broadcasting Network, brought to you by LittleEast.tv. We are back here on the Beacons Broadcasting Network, 33-2, the final, and the Beacons do set a new program record for most goals scored in one game. We'll take a look at the side-by-side statistics here. You can tell by the final score what the composition of this game was. The Beacons outshooting the Vikings 82-6. 82-6. Got to put your hands together for Trevor Gilligan. He was in net all 60 minutes for the Vikings. He allowed 33 goals, yes. He made 49 saves. So what an afternoon for Trevor Gilligan. Now taking a look at the rest of the stats here. Only 4 saves ended up getting made by the Beacons. By my count, I might have that one wrong. 26 saves officially on the 52 shots that didn't go in. The Beacons dominating the ground ball margin. They win that times 5, 58-13. And that face-off circle domination continues. Those numbers only going to grow better for McNeely and Lucozzi and Jack DeFalco Wheeler, who went perfect in the face-off circle that second half. So there you have it. Here are the final goal tallies for the Vikings. 2 goals scored. Kyle Tamaro, his 2nd of the season, and Aiden Hollingsworth, his 14th of the year. For the Beacons, a lot of different beaks, and so we'll just give you the totals here. Leading the way for the Beacons, points-wise, Connor Smith, 10 total. He had 5 goals and 5 assists this afternoon. Gavin Admirand, 5 goals, 4 assists. Jacob Banks with 3 goals and 5 assists. 2 goals apiece for Sean Cullen, Owen Gallagher, Mick Flynn, Greg Wolf, and Colin Ford. And Greg Wolf had 3 assists to go along with his 2 goals. And then a goal apiece for Charlie Chapman, Luke Murphy, Jack Ranta, Max Hamilton-Jones, Adrian Filas, Shane McGonigal, David Oman, Jason McNeely, Timothy Sullivan, and Nolan Beauregard. So if you were playing Beacons Bingo, your card is very full. It is a program record, 33 goals, and the Beacons are now 7-3 on the season, 2-0 in the LEC, and Max Clifford, their biggest test of the year in 3 days. Tuesday night, right here against Babson College. And so we will end it with that. Join us again here. 6:50 is the start of the broadcast time. A 7 o'clock face-off against Babson College. A game that will really set the tempo for the remainder of the season for the Beaks. For my graphics and producer, Max Clifford, for our camera operator, Margot Butters, and for our producer, Mike Vesci, my name is Chris Del Sordo. Thank you so much for hanging out with us this afternoon. We have a lot of home games coming up, so we will be joining you frequently and often, and let's hope it's more Beacons wins just like this. Wherever you are, have a great rest of your Saturday, and roll Beaks.